What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 140 of Littleroot Lessons. As always, I'm your host, Carter Noble, joined by our fantastic co-host, Carl Wilkins. Sup, dude?
Not a whole lot. I am tired. I worked the entire weekend, and I am worn out.
Yeah.
We are recording Sunday night because this week was just busy. We tried to record, I think we tried to record Wednesday or Thursday, one of those 2 days where I had off, but things happened and then we never got synced up to record again until today. And
yeah, there was, let's see, I can't remember. There was something, and we're like, yeah, we'll be able to do that. And then I had something come up, and so I had to bail basically last minute.
It was Wednesday. We were going to record Wednesday, and then you ended up having to go somewhere do something.
That sounds correct.
Because Thursday you came up here.
Yes. Yes.
And Thursday we ended up having to run to the store 4 times because I had no water at the house. And so that was a whole mess.
I forgot about the water.
Yeah, like I said, this week has, if it could go wrong this week, it has for me. It has been a week and a half.
Oh my lord. Yeah. You're not incorrect.
It's about to get much worse because the Chiefs-Titans game is getting ready to start, and I already know the Titans aren't winning tonight. I just want to see how badly we get beat.
Look, man, I'm going to be upfront about this. I have the game on directly here in front of me, and by directly, I mean downward. So if you see me looking down, it's because I'm watching the game.
I have it off to my right side here, so if I glanced away from the camera, that's why.
Yep. So just know I am going to be watching football.
Yep.
But we're
still here. We're here to talk Pokemon.
The Pokemons. So yeah.
This week is probably the last Sword and Shield based episode we're going to have, and it's kind of bittersweet.
Most likely, yeah. Yep. Unless something really weird happens next week.
And Scarlet and Violet just get infinitely delayed.
Somehow ignoring the fact that they're already out in the open.
They are as of recording, the game is out. It is in the hands of somebody, and Twitter is just blowing up right now. So if you want to go in blind, keep off Twitter.
Yeah, basically. You and I were sitting here and just doing our pregame, our pre-record stuff, and then I'm like, oh hey, that exists. Cool.
Yeah, that leaks a
thing.
You're
like, what are you talking about? So I send it to you, and you're like, huh, we should probably put a message out saying that, leaks are happening.
Yeah, and that's what I did, and now everyone's just like, oh, they're in the know. And so everyone's either A, going to look at it and just get info on it, or B, ignoring it like they should be doing.
To use Centro's system, we're currently in DEFCON 1, which means that there is an active leaker going on. So there's a lot going on, and it's fine.
Yep.
But that's not why we're talking. That's not what we're talking about today.
Nope.
We are going to be talking about why Sword and Shield was a fantastic game, and what we really enjoyed from this game. So, all right, cool, good episode.
No, they're this is
Sword and Shield's
important. Yeah, it's real important for us. It was the game that got us to start the podcast. Right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yes.
We've been doing Magic for a long time, and just on a whim, you're like, hey, let's go play competitive Pokemon. There's an event in Collinsville. Let's go do that.
We've told the story a couple different times on the podcast at this point, but there were a lot of things going on in the Magic community that we weren't agreeing with. And I still actively play Magic now.
I don't. Snap. Marvel Snap.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just I don't play nearly to the level I used to, mainly because my work schedule just says I can't.
Yeah.
Is the simplest way to put it. But I do enjoy the game. It's very much hey, my buddy's coming over. I have, like 5 pauper decks together. Let's just jam games until we're bored.
Yeah.
And so that's really like what my Magic career is now. It's just like, yeah, let's just, pick it up and play some. It'll be fine.
I have the stuff on the wall. There's something in a Pokeball over here in the corner, and then I've got budget EDH that I haven't played in what feels like a year.
I think it's visible on camera. I have my cube back here.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, it's in the box there. With the Mox Jet facing us. So yeah, I still like have my Magic stuff. I'm missing this much of my cube to be actually complete, like completely in paper, which in reality is not a lot when you look at it like that. But in reality, it's like $600-$700 worth of stuff I'm missing.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it'll get done when it gets done, and then it'll sit in a box until I get tired of looking at it, essentially.
Yep. Need the money and flip it.
Yeah, essentially. Like, that's a really good way of looking at it. It's just like, hey, this is my investment portfolio.
I mean, that's what I did with mine, as I turned mine into a lot of money for the wedding and things like that when I sold out. So, same for my house. Like, I turned it, made it kind of like a lot of furnishing stuff for my house, for the house when we bought the house.
Yep.
What it ended up being.
Yep.
But back on track here, Sword and Shield means a lot to us, honestly. It's just like, it was my first competitive, like actual competitive game. I hadn't played competitive Pokemon before this game. And I think if it had been any harder to make competitive Pokemon, I probably wouldn't be playing competitive Pokemon. I probably would have just put it down like I do most other games after I beat the Elite Four and just kind of ignore it.
Yeah, I had played, I played Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon competitively. I played a couple tournaments there, and that was basically it. But for the most part, like you said, building teams, even the last generation, was much, much more complicated. Of course, I didn't know how to gen. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to have access to doing stuff like that. Just like, those aren't things I knew, and as a result, I was doing everything manually. I was doing everything the authentic way.
Yeah, which is time consuming. It
sucked. Like, it was very time consuming. And even now, I have my switch up that I use for like shiny hunting purposes.
Yeah.
But like, for the most part, if I want, I'll bust out a few. I'll bust out eggs until I get my 6 IV or whatever.
Yeah, like I still do that.
I'll throw that in on the switch up and like let it run then. So I have a decent chance at like a 6 IV shiny if and when it pops.
Exactly. And I'm the same way.
But yeah, like for the most part, my Pokemon are authentic. Like my first Pokemon, I everything I use for the most part is authentic. And that's whatever. Like, obviously people gen. I will be the first to admit it. I have before.
Yeah.
It's whatever. It doesn't bother me. I know you and I were very, very like hard stance there at the beginning of just like, hey, we don't do this. Don't talk about it here. Go somewhere else and do it.
And I mean, yeah.
Like, we've definitely loosened like our restrictions. Just like, hey, we know this exists. We don't promote it. Don't do it.
Yeah. Like, don't do it here.
That's on you. Yeah.
Like, there's places to go do that. Have at it. Sure. Cool.
But we're not going to provide you the resources to do it yourself.
Nope.
But, yeah. But yeah, the whole idea of, like, having breeding be that much easier with, like, having your mints and having your ability capsules and your
patches.
Yeah, your ability patches, I think, is a really big one. Like, obviously, these are all very, very big upgrades.
Was the max vitamin thing, was that Was it still limited at 10 in Ultra Sun Ultra Moon, or was it
Yes.
still limited?
Yes.
Because the
I'm
big
pretty
thing,
sure. I think so.
because that was another big thing for me anyway, was being able to just vitamin up. If you need something at 252, just vitamins all the way up.
Yep. Here's 26 vitamins. We're good.
Yeah.
And
And it made
yeah,
the mints and the vitamins and the feathers and all that makes it super duper easy to team build, and overall I thought was just like those are good advancements to the game, and I hope those carry over into Scarlet and Violet and keep the game kind of user friendly. It's the best way to put
I
it.
agree. I really do agree.
There's still some things I want, but
I think the two big things I really want at this point are like the ability to set my IVs to whatever I want. I think that's something that like a lot of people are really really striving for. I think that would be a very big improvement, not only for like breeding purposes, but like it would make where you can take literally any Pokemon and make it as competitive as possible.
and
And
we're,
I think
we're really
that's like
close to that.
We are very close, but like for the purposes of like Trick Room teams, that's like the one thing we're missing is like being able to set our IVs to 0.
Yeah, and that goes back to the one thing I want is like I want the rusty bottle cap. I want the zero IV bottle cap. I want to be able to zero something out if I need it.
And then like this is something they are really kind of pushing towards. I really think that like the addition of like hidden power, I think was a very good thing in all actuality. I think that mechanic is very good, but it was very unbalanced in the fact that only special attackers had access to it for the most part.
Yeah.
The fact that only special attackers had perfect coverage was really, really disappointing. And I'm really hoping that... do we know if Terra Blast uses either stat?
It'll use either stat, yes.
Okay.
It'll pick
That's
your
what
highest
that's
stat
what I
and use
thought, but... So, that is going to be a very, very good change. Making it where any Pokemon has coverage for basically anything at the cost of your terrestrialization. Can be good.
Yeah. And
Do we know if it only works if you're terrestrialized?
The type only changes if you're terrestrialized. Otherwise,
Okay,
it is a
it's
normal
just...
type move.
Okay, that's what I thought.
But yeah, like looking back through rose-colored glasses here for Dynamax, it's like I understand a lot of why they got rid of certain things, like the hidden power thing. Like that being gone is huge, right?
Agreed.
Like
Agreed.
everyone was like, "Oh, hidden power is just this crazy weird mechanic. It doesn't make much sense. I don't know why it was ever a thing to begin with." Like it made sense for the game, like at the times, but then when you go and look at like Dynamax coverage, and you could just like tech hidden power onto everything. That's way too much, just like power for no downside, right? There's no drawback.
Agreed.
And thusly, it's just like we're going to get rid of this mechanic for now and come back with something fixed, which is what Terra Blast and Terrestrialization kind of solves all that problem. I would not be mad if Terra types just hang out and just Terrestrialization is just the gimmick from now till the end of time. I think that is a much better like balanced style of hidden power, and if that could just stick around forever.
I would not be... I know you and I have had a very, very hard stance of like anti-megas, and I think... I don't know, man. I've been playing a lot of Nat Deck singles, and I really enjoy them there. But that format also is just like obviously absurd. Like you can do everything except Dynamax.
Yeah.
You have Megas, you have Z moves, but you can't Dynamax. And it's a obviously very, very interesting format, because you have access to all the legacy moves and everything too. So I don't know. I enjoy playing with certain megas, And
Well,
I
yeah.
think if they were to bring back some of them, it would be cool. But at the same time, like, there's also some that, like, are just obnoxious, and I don't want to play against them. Um, like, I know for the purposes of Nat decks, they had to ban Mega Blastoise to Ubers specifically because Shell Smash exists. And
Yeah.
that's not something that before Gen 8 Blastoise had access to. There was no such thing as Shell Smash Mega Blastoise.
Yeah, that wasn't a thing.
So like, you know, um,
I feel like that's a
really
big thing in
obnoxious.
general, right? Because there's like with the removal of hidden power, a lot of Pokemon got extra coverage moves to make up for that,
Yes.
and it overall is it's a quite a different feeling. Like now that the Megas have this extra stuff, right? Like you said, Shell Smash Blastoise is a great example of it. There's like random mystical fires, random thunderbolts, heat waves, extra stuff like that in places that didn't used to belong. And so now these megas have extra coverage essentially, and they're already boosted in stats, and so it can get a little bit overpowered.
I think the other thing I'm really excited for that we saw here, removing certain moves that just like are whatever anymore.
The moves that get just kind of pushed out of the game because they just don't do anything, or there's a better rebalanced version and stuff like that.
I think the one that I really miss is like Pursuit. Pursuit has a very unique like gameplay
Interaction
mechanic.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it allows you to revenge kill almost indefinitely, right? Like Weavile is like a very good example of this, where it's just like, all right, well, I lose a Pokemon, Weavile comes in for free. Choice band Pursuit because you can't get away. If you stay in, you're dead, and if you retreat, you're dead. Like
Yeah, it's just like you either take the hit on the chin and go down and get to pivot, or you try to pivot in something else and hope they didn't click Pursuit and still take the hit on the chin anyway, and you're still sad.
so like that leads to like a negative game point, like a negative gameplay mechanic of just like you're screwed if you do, you're screwed if you don't.
Yeah, it's just like it's not the
like,
greatest like mechanic
exactly
overall.
like I understand why certain things got removed, but I do think that's like I could take it or leave it at this point. It's been so long since I've played with them that it just feels weird to do so again. Like the first time I lost a Pokemon to Pursuit, I'm just like,
Oh yeah,
oh yeah, I don't know how to play around this anymore.
you don't. That's the thing is you don't.
Yeah, like it's like I don't know what to do here. It's just like do I always just assume they have it and like they're going to click it,
Maybe.
or do I play around it and just I don't know. It creates a lot of mind games. It creates a lot of negative gameplay experience.
Yeah.
And I think I'm coming
being
around
gone,
to the
I think,
point
is a
where
good
it's just
thing.
like, yeah, I agree. Playing with it here lately is just like, man, this kind of sucks. I don't know.
This is a very feels bad moment, and I don't like it, and it shouldn't be. I'm glad it's gone. Yeah.
But like also at the same time, I don't.
Just
I
go
feel like
in
I'm
circles.
just talking in circles.
Yeah, we're just
Whatever.
talking in circles at this point. It's just like I like it, but I don't like it, but I like it, but I don't like it.
I like doing it. I don't like when it happens.
Yeah, and that's the big thing for me is like if it's only a feel good when you get to do it and not when it happens to you, it's a little bit of a toxic mechanic.
Yep.
Just a little bit. Weeny tiny bit. Other things from Sword and Shield that I like, rental teams, rental codes.
Amazing.
Just the best thing that ever happened.
Just
That
insane.
Made
Yeah.
making content so much easier because we weren't always stuck reliant on like making our own team every week.
Correct.
We could take a couple weeks to build something if we wanted to build something specific, and then we get to play rental codes for the next couple weeks or whatever to get until we get enough resources to build up to play to make another team and do that. And
The other side of that is like it's really easy to build like a community based on like playing people's teams when people can just be like, "Hey, here's a code, go play this," as opposed to
here's this.
"Hey, when can I trade you 6 months?"
Exactly. Like, I need to trade you this many things to go play. No, now you just here's my code. Go play.
Yep, just load it up. Yep. And I mean, that's what we did for the last
Titans,
2 years. No, don't go Titans. No, don't jump off sides. What are you...
Chad Okonkwo, Chig Okonkwo is popping off. Happy.
Speak for yourself. Did you pick the Titans to win tonight?
No.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't think we're gonna win. I want to make it. I want it to be a game. I want it to still be a game, and I will be happy if I lose my pick'em lead this week because of this game. I will be happy if we win and I lose my pick'em lead. But
because of it, that's acceptable.
Yeah, exactly. It's fine. Oh goodness. You must be ahead of me. But
I'm live, so I don't know.
I mean, Peacock said I was live, but I'm probably not.
Yeah, Hulu says I'm live too, so I don't know.
Who knows? Anywho, rental codes. Rental codes were great.
Agreed.
I'm glad to see them hopefully sticking around for Scarlet and Violet. It's going to make playing teams much easier. It's going to make creating content a whole lot easier for us. We're excited to play other people's teams. It's been a while since we had our last laddering video because no one really wanted to play Series 13.
By no one, I mean me.
Yeah. And having access to all of that stuff again will be good moving forward.
Agreed. There's just a lot to really... Sword and Shield gets a really, really bad rap.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so upsetting, man. It really is. Because, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that this is my favorite Pokemon game I've ever played.
Yeah,
it's probably the one I've put the most hours in, though.
Well, yeah,
and
when you're making content
it's really close,
and you're playing the game a lot, in general, because you have to play the game a lot. The games in general are getting longer, right? That's kind of the idea. They want to fit as much into a game as they possibly can. And the games inherently get a little bit longer. You could beat Red in a few hours, and you could technically
that's playing casual,
and that was casual. That's not speed run. That's just casual playthrough. A casual Sword and Shield playthrough is going to take you probably 3 closer to 4 hours, and that's not including any of the DLC stuff. If you want to go and do that. It's nice that they're packing more into these games for us, and so we're going to spend a lot longer playing them in general. I'm real excited. We could talk about this because it's not technically spoilers. Gimme Ghoul is super exciting for me because it's just hey, here's the collectathon thing in the overworld. And
it's the footprints all over again.
It's the footprints or the Diglets or whatever you want it to be. It's just a little collectible thing that you're going to do to essentially get to this Pokemon form. Which we never really even got to talk about the other revealed Pokemon from Halloween Greavard. Really, I don't think we did.
The goodest of boys?
The goodest of boys. My Discord profile image right now is the goodest boy.
He's pretty dang cute. I will give it that. I'm excited to see its evolution.
Yeah. I think it has potential to be really cool. And Gimme Ghoul is really cool too. Gimme Ghoul has Rattled as its ability.
Yeah, which is really sick.
There's this cool little you can hit me with like brutal swing, and now you get rattled boost and weakness policy. And if this thing has like a
Yep.
decent damage, a decent attack stat,
That's just like weak armor, but with better payoff.
I was about to say it's weak armor with better stuff.
I played Jay this week in DPEC, and I was really, really trying to figure out how to make like Synesty work.
Uh-huh.
I really wanted to do weakness policy, weak armor, stored power. And my way I was gonna do it was off of Brutal Swing off of Driftloon.
Yeah.
And you just like you take so much damage because Synesty's so bad.
Yeah, Synesty is such a frail Pokemon.
It was like 28 to 34% or something. I'm just like, I can't lose a third of my health to KO one thing.
It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. I was about to ask
And
how
like,
your DPEC adventures are going.
dude, it's really, really fun. I don't think I've won a match.
Oof. Big oof on that one.
But like, dude, it's really unique. I started working on this like Torchic team, and then we came to the conclusion, and by we I mean Jay told me, and I eventually agreed. Torchic's not very good.
Nope, I could have told you that one.
I really tried to make it work though.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest problem is Scarf Cubfoo's like a really good like part of their metagame, and you need to go to +2 to outspeed it.
Yeah,
So,
and that's not
yeah.
viable.
No, it's really hard.
You'd have to get a double protect, which the odds of that are very slim.
But like, if they're not Scarf, you just need +1, and then you're fine. But
Yeah. But can you OHKO them before they get you?
if they're not Scarf, yes.
Okay.
You have like I was running Charcoal Overheat, and you can one shot them.
Okay.
But if they're not Scarf, then they probably have extra bulk. So like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a trade-off.
Yeah, for sure. That's like another thing that like came because of Sword and Shield. Like, tying this back in.
I was about to say that's the tie-in is Little Cup
like
VGC.
all these really awesome communities that you and I have become a part of as well. It's just like obviously ours is by far my favorite, but
Yeah.
I
I really like DPEC as a format. I'm not in their server because I'm very I am very particular about like what servers I'm in. I don't like having a lot of message clutter. And I like to go through and I like to be able to read everything. I like to be able to go and look at everything.
See, I'm the same way, and that's why with ours, there's just stuff I have muted. I'm like, I'm not like I know I own this server, but there's just rooms I just don't care about.
Yeah.
These are here for other people. Like after the NFL season's done, I just mute sports chat. It's like, all right, I'll see you in 9 months.
So it's the same way for me, except for when like basketball ends.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll turn it on when football starts, and I'll turn it off when basketball's done-ish for the most part. Like playoffs, I'm not too worried about. But the regular season basketball, when that goes away, I just mute sporting. I just mute sports. I have adorable animals always active because I love posting pictures of my pets there.
Agreed. Agreed.
We're kind of getting sidetracked again.
Yeah, look.
But like DPEC the format itself, I think is really really cool. I'm not like big into playing VGC right now because I'm saving myself for all the Scarlet and Violet stuff because I don't want to get burned out. I figured out
we will have to get you involved when Scarlet and Violet come out. Like I really do think that you would enjoy it a lot.
One of the big things I learned about myself when I was grinding on the grind for indie is I burn out really quick when I'm doing the math heavy stuff over and over and over and over. I don't like that part of Pokemon. You'd think I'd enjoy it, and I'd enjoy it in small doses for one team, not when I'm sitting there having to test 7 or 8 different iterations of the same team because I don't like something.
I feel that a lot. But yeah, I mean that format's gonna be really sick. Just adding in a bunch of new Pokemon and like a bunch of Pokemon that we've never seen before. Obviously, adding in Pokemon that got hit by the Dexit. Like, there's a lot that's really going to be cool. Potentially, like we don't know about its evolution line or anything yet, so it could be a single stage.
I'd be sad if it's just
I would be too.
It's too cute to it's too cute to be just a single stage.
Agreed. It needs like a Stoutland evolution. And then of course one of the other big communities I'm really active in is the RTT group. This is my 3rd season with them. They are fantastic. I absolutely love everyone I've learned, I've met through them. It's part of the reason that Jay and I are so close now, because he's the one who invited me to the server and everything.
So yeah, they are a cast of characters, and they are great.
They're fantastic, man. I believe my Twitter banner is a screenshot from the Discord.
I don't know.
Yes, it is. Last season I played Jace, and because I had Eggy and Tangela, I expected safety goggles to be prominent in the matches I played. So one week I played Hypnosis on Eggy. So the direct quote is, "With all the love in the world, Carter, I hope I never play you again. Hypnosis over sleep powder is truly a chaotic, evil move."
That's great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I absolutely love it. Obviously last season didn't break my way. I'm hoping this season I can rally back a little bit. So this season's also
really rough.
Look, man, it's not from a lack of trying.
Yeah, it has been rough the last couple years last couple seasons for RTT.
It's all right, Obviously, we're gonna get new stuff there as well.
That one might take a little while to pan out.
We're gonna work on that one quite a bit, I'm sure.
I figured
it's gonna be a lot of tender, loving care to get that one to a point where we're happy with it.
I feel like it'll be at least a couple months before you are probably ready to declare these Pokemon are the ones you can play with.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be one of those things of, let's just jump right in.
Yeah, it's each regional format is its own unique melting pot. You have to really dig into it to understand these are what's good. This is what's good for this format. And I think one of the cool things is, hopefully for Scarlet by that, one of the things I didn't like about Sword and Shield was just the random series updating every couple months to, here's this new stuff for you, here's more new stuff for you. This slow trickle of just here's the Gigantamax forms you can use, here's these Pokemon that aren't in the Pokedex you can use. I wasn't a big fan of that.
Yeah. The big thing, I do kind of wish we could go back to just kind of, I like the idea of rotating formats or whatever, but at the same time, there was such a precedent for how these formats were handled over the last several years of just always, regional decks, national decks, and restricted formats over years. The three years of life that these formats have, this game has. Mm-hmm. And I think the reason we strayed away from that is because we knew we weren't getting national decks. We just knew it wasn't going to happen, that everything was going to be obtainable. Because, dude, we're hitting 1,000 Pokemon.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be well over 1,000.
Yeah. We already are, right? With
Hisuian Pokemon, I believe, put us either just before or just at
I think we're just over 1,000.
Somewhere in there.
Let me pull up the old Cerebi page. No, Galar, Hisuian form takes us to 905.
Yeah, I'm about to say, it's after Paldea, we'll be right over 1,000. Or should be somewhere close to that.
Pretty dang close, if not.
The big thing was we had just rolled over to 900.
Yeah, I misremembered. I thought we had hit 1,000, but yeah, you are correct.
But I think like part of the rotating format thing, part of the reason why they had expected like a couple events each series essentially. Like they're gonna, because they have regionals so many times a month, like in a month or two, and so they'll have like 4 for this format, 4 for that format, and then 4 for that format, and so on, or however many, and so on and so forth. And the COVID pandemic kind of just took all that, and we just didn't get it. We didn't get what they had originally planned. Like they had this whole planned thing probably for Sword and Shield, and we got a very rushed, fixed version of it for our competitive formats, trying to keep the game alive essentially. Because let's be honest here, if they didn't bring Players Cup or online events or anything like that, VGCs probably wouldn't have survived. There would have been
I mean, in all actuality, yeah.
Like there would have been small grassroots events, like what we did, like what Rose Tower does, Mount Silver, all that. But
Victory Road, just all the major players.
But like if Pokemon's not having things to do, then there's no reason to play, right? Like there's no reason to hold the grassroots tournaments if there's no big TPCI events to run.
And obviously, one cannot plan for a global pandemic to take effect.
Exactly. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like it's not completely their fault.
But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think I prefer the standard way we do things. And obviously, a big part of, why we had these rotating formats was because we had all these Galarian forms and everything that, not
the
forms,
Gigantamax.
Yeah, thank you. The Gigantamax forms that they released in waves. But yeah, just, it was really interesting the way they did it, and I could take it or leave it.
Yeah.
I think I lean more towards the idea of one format for 1 year, but at the same time, I can definitely see how that wears on people.
I like the one, when we got to Series 12 the first time, because technically we're in Series 12 the second time right now, for the foreseeable future for Sword and Shield. But when we got to Series 12 the first time, and we found out, it's 6 months. It's this long, block of the same format. We saw so much development. Teams changed. You could start, planning out, you're going to see these X teams likely at, or variants of these teams at events. And we got to kind of see what they originally probably had planned for Sword and Shield. Longer series to kind of play around and not really have to find the best thing and then only play it for 2 months, right? That was a big thing in the early days of Sword and Shield, was so this is the best team by far, this is what's winning all the events, the series ends in 6 weeks, have fun, you can play other stuff, but this is the best thing you could be doing right now.
Agreed.
And everyone would pivot to that. Colossal is a very great example of this won an event. Well, there's no point in not playing anything but Colossal or the one team that Colossal can't beat. Have fun. And that's what got dry really quickly. It's just there's no point in exploring past when you find something really good, because the format's never going to develop fully enough to where you can get past that point.
Yep, agreed.
Where Series 12, you got to see that. You got to see the rise of Rinya's Sun, and then it kind of fades into the background, because then we have the rise of Rain, and it kind of fades, and it becomes this push and pull, and this cycle starts to happen, and we get to see really cool teams, really unique techs kind of come out of the woodwork to beat these two teams, because they're known quantities at this point, and you kind of get to plan.
Yep, agreed.
And I hope that Scarlet and Violet isn't a series kind of thing. Like I want a 9-month, 10-month, 11, 12, 1-year format. I want time for this regional dex to develop and kind of play out in a much better fashion. And now not having a bunch of Gigantamax forms is going to help that. It's going to help that a lot, let's be honest.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Not having limited whatever. That was the big thing for early, is just like we're only gatekeeping these because we haven't released them yet. Like, if they had just like, here's all the Gigantamax forms and just go get them, people would have figured it out. Like, I don't know why they felt the need to limit them.
Yep.
But we figured it out. We got through it.
I do think it's gonna be very cool to just be like, here's everything. Good luck.
Yeah, that's kind of what I want.
Granted, we don't know that that's how it's gonna work.
But it's what I want.
As of now, there's no fancy Terra-specific forms or anything like that. There's nothing like that we are aware of.
Yeah.
As of this recording, you and I are not aware of said things.
Like, we don't know if, like, oh, when you terrestrialize this specific Pokemon and this specific type, this happens. We don't know if that could be a thing. We don't know.
Ghost T-Tar could somehow still be weak to to fighting. Who knows? Like,
Scrappy.
They could change. Who knows?
No.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to explore, and that's going to be to explore in Scarlet and Violet, and I'm excited. Sword and Shield, though, has been a lot of fun. I wouldn't say it's my favorite Pokemon game because I really like the older stuff. It's just like nostalgia reasons. I kind of have just like all these nostalgias for just like Ruby, Sapphire, Red and Blue, Gold, Silver, Crystal, all that jazz. I will say I did not enjoy Gen 4 as much as I thought I would. I did not enjoy Gen 4.
Well, see, here's what had happened was,
if there was one flop from the last couple years of Pokemon, I think Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl is probably the flop.
You mean the game that is broken?
You mean the game that is literally held together by duct tape, and they had to patch to try and get it to be not broken? Yeah.
The crazy part about it is, like, it's legitimately more broken than Red and Blue.
Oh yeah, 100%. Go, Henry, go! Dang.
Like, it is genuinely insane.
Like, as someone who speed runs like Red and Blue and all that, like, these games are broken. Like, I spent forever just like doing the random glitches, setting them up because it was fun. Like, it was easy, and I made sure to play through the game normally the first time, just like to enjoy the game.
Oh, for sure.
And I think I missed a lot of stuff. Like, a lot of it's just like way over my head. I didn't understand what was going on half the time. Story stuff was kind of cool, but not my cup of tea. I feel like Gen 5 will probably be the same way.
Gen 5 is a game.
Which Gen 5, I don't know what we'll do for remix for Gen 5, but those are next on the list. I'm sure. They're probably already in the works right now. We're gonna get Pokemon Legends in, and it's gonna be like medieval themed.
No, we're actually going to get Gen 2 remakes.
Let's go, Johto.
It's been a while since we have, so clearly that means we're gonna. Yeah,
I mean, I would be okay with Gen 2 remakes for the Switch. They need to be like the Let's Go style, though. They need to be the fun, not a real Pokemon game, but a Pokemon game nonetheless kind of thing.
Yep.
It's
Yep,
just
yep, yep.
like I don't want BDSP but Gen 2. I don't want that. I want Let's Go.
No, please no.
Like I want Let's Go but Gen 2. I think that's a good shelf for it. And you can do that for Gens 1 and 2 probably. I wouldn't do it
And
for
then
Gen
if
3.
we do that, can we make Whitney a fairy type trainer?
Probably could.
I mean, she doesn't have a Miltank.
But other than that, I think that'd be a good direction for Pokemon to do. Hey, Pokemon, come hire me. I'll give you ideas. But overall, Sword and Shield probably like an 8 out of 10 in my book. If I had to give it a rating.
It was a very, very fun game.
The DLC made it better, but like base Sword and Shield's like 8 out of 10. Like,
obviously, had the DLC never came out, it would be whatever. But yeah, it's definitely the game I would be extremely surprised if it's not the game I have the most hours in ever.
Because we did the whole switch up thing, I can't really track that. Because there's so many hours where we were just probably grinding, but weren't actually playing the game.
I mean, according to my Switch, I was.
Touchdown, Henry.
What is it?
Henry got the run in TD there.
Then yeah, you're a little ahead of me.
Oh, so I got ahead of you now. I don't know how.
Wait, was that Henry?
That was Henry.
Was it Wildcard? Was it Wildcat?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
When Tannehill's not on the field, they get to do that stuff. Malik's already like jet sweeped it twice.
Sure, man.
It's weird. The offense is weird now. Like, I like how it looks. Sidetracking to NFL here. I'm a big Tennessee Titans fan. Started with the Houston Oilers. They moved to Tennessee, so they're actually like closer to us now, which is cool. Houston Texans can go sit in a bucket. I didn't like them. But
well,
getting distracted here because of football.
I, on the other hand, was not distracted this week because my boys are on bye.
Yeah, you're on bye this week.
Yeah.
This game is like the important test game, which is why it's important to me. Because we have not played good teams outside of the Bills all year.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I am going to lose drastically this week in fantasy. My opponent's lowest scoring player was Terry McLaurin, who still had 11 points.
Jeez.
Not excluding his kicker. Who had 7.
A kicker with more than 11 points is a very high value kicker there.
I had Suck Up, who had 11 this week. So,
well, there you go.
Who is my third highest scoring player.
Ooh. Ow.
So, yeah, I had a lot of single digit scores this week, and he had 1.
That's how it works sometimes.
So,
getting back away from football here.
nah.
Not happening. Just gonna keep talking football. Now we're a professional football. We are a professional football league podcast now. Because
we're coming for the number 1 sports podcast position. We're taking over the Kelsey brothers.
It's funny. You mentioned the podcast to my wife on Thursday, and
yes,
she was just like, "Oh, really?" Because she's a big Travis Kelce fan. Like, find me somebody who isn't, right? And she didn't know that he had a podcast with his brother, nonetheless. And she's just like interested now. Maybe might be trying to go find it.
My first So I've been getting into like sports cards here lately,
Uh-huh.
and the first parallel I ever opened was a Jason Kelsey card.
Explain what a
And-
parallel is for those that do not know.
Okay, so there are your base cards, which are just like standard traditional cards, right? And then there are your parallels that are numbered, so they are short printed. So this one is a red parallel. It is number 443 of 449. There are only 449 copies of this card printed. So it was the first parallel I ever opened. And right behind it was a base set like Travis Kelsey. So it was really funny that like my first parallel was Jason, and then I immediately also opened a Travis.
Yeah. My
And
big
then like
purchase
the
the other
next
day
pack I
was,
opened an autographed card. So
I got this. I'm about to say I didn't do my unboxing video like I probably should have, but I'm showing off the Switch on screen.
oh yeah, I meant to come kidnap that from you and I didn't.
Yeah, you would have had about 20 minutes because as soon as it got dropped off at the house, I found every excuse I could to run away from work.
Like, hey guys, I need to go.
Like, I gotta go. It's been downloading updates and games and all that stuff over the last like day and a half. I got everything transferred over. The dock is probably my favorite thing.
The dock is very good looking.
It is super clean. It is.
I've been following people on Twitter. I know Beanie got his in.
Mhm.
His I think was the first tweet I saw. So
Poppy got theirs.
yes, I did see Poppy sent his to us like directly. He's like, "Hey, does anyone want to buy my other OLED?" I'm like,
Maybe. If it's the white controllers, ooh.
I think it is. I think his is the
The white one's very nice.
Agreed. I need to get off Twitter. I'm not seeing anything I haven't seen yet, but I would like to before I do.
Yeah, I just closed Twitter entirely. I'm not
Yeah.
getting on Twitter for until Scarlet and Violet come out. I still gotta figure out where I'm getting my games from.
That
Leave a
reminds me, I need
comment
to
down
go-
below if you're still here listening. Where should I pick my games up from?
I need to go pay mine off. I'm getting mine from GameStop.
Do you want to swing by my house and pick me up so I can go buy them, and then you just swing by later when we go pick them up?
Carl, you live half an hour away.
So,
No! I want to go across town and then come home and play them. I love you, but no!
I tried. Oh, they call that a fumble? They did.
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, no, it's incomplete. Okay, I'm about to say, it's like, I don't think that was a pass, but sure.
Sure, man, whatever.
No,
It'll
yeah,
work.
no, he didn't have control.
Alright, well, that's cool.
He went to make a motion, but then he dropped the ball. Literally turned around, let go. That's hilarious. That's fine. But yeah, not much of an episode today. It's kind of off the cuff. We really just wanted to talk about Sword and Shield one last time because we're not going to get to ever again.
So I guess we should probably. I'm gonna throw out a couple different questions here, just so we can end the video on like some positivity and like just like some more talks about the
Some
games.
anecdotes and short anecdotes.
So favorite Galarian form.
Favorite Galarian form? I think. Let me double check here. I don't remember all the Galar forms,
I actually have a list of them.
and
How convenient. I came prepared.
I would, if I had to pick one, I think my favorite is probably Galarian Weezing. mainly just because it just fits, right? Like, I don't know about like why the fairy typing's great, but poison fairy is a really cool typing. But the design, the smokestacks,
it's a very, very well put
it's a well designed Pokemon.
Agreed.
Like,
it is a very, very good one, and it needed something to like revitalize it as a like Pokemon.
Neutralizing gas did that for it.
Very much so. Neutralizing gas was a very, very good buff for Weezing. I think for myself, there's two that really stand out. There's Galarian Moltres, which is just like, dude, it's such a sick design. I absolutely love Galarian Moltres. And like the shiny, of course, just like takes it over the top.
Yeah.
And then the other one that I really love is Galarian Darmanitan.
Darmanitan.
It's so goofy looking, but it hits like an absolute unit.
Yeah, it does its job. Whatever job you need to do,
it's very good at its job.
It'll do it.
It has one job: blow something up. Yep. If it gets 2 kills, it exceeded expectations.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed both of them.
But you can definitely tell the kind of Pokemon players we are by our favorite Galarian forms.
Click super effective button.
Yeah, like I think like looking outside, I just picked up just like the actual like base mons. I didn't even think about like anything DLC wise.
Yes, same. Well, I mean, I say that as
I think Slowbro is like Galarian Slowbro is super duper cool. I think that design was awesome.
I've been playing a lot of Galarian Slowking in Nat decks. Like you slap an AV on this thing and it tanks hits.
Yeah, it just doesn't die.
Yeah, it's just like, all right, oh, I'm close to death. All right, I'm gonna dip out.
Bye.
Suddenly, I'm okay again.
I wanted the Galarian Slowbro to be really good. I wanted Quick Draw to be really, really good, and it didn't pan out.
It's not better than Regenerator, and like that's what it would take.
But I will say Galarian Slowbro strict upgrade in terms of actually like dealing damage.
True.
So that's kind of cool. It's like it plays different. Like it's a different type of Pokemon than just regular Slowbro.
So that brings me to my next question. Favorite Gigantamax form?
Lapras 100%.
Lapras is a very, very close second.
What is your first then? Like
Kingler. I absolutely love Kingler.
You love the King Crab Kingler.
Like obviously I have the like emotional connection of like it being on my RTT team when I won. But dude, I love Kingler. I think its G-Max attack is really cool. I think the design of it is really awesome as well. I love the giant mustache. It's great. It has a lot of like sentimental value for me at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, like Lapras was one of my favorites. Like Lapras is one of my favorite Pokemon to begin with. Like I have this fun little card that you did up for me, sitting on the desk. And it overall, I think. Go Henry, go! Sorry, I got distracted again. Henry just ripped off another like 70-yard run.
Sure, man.
But like Lapras is always been one of my favorite Pokemon. I thought it was super cool. Being able to get a gift one in Gen 1 was one of my favorite things. It's just like, oh, here's this Lapras. It's like, well, that's cool. It's a water and ice type. Like, this thing is bulky.
Like, what's this thing?
It lifts everything. It's just like, this is great. Yeah. And one of my favorite teams to play early on was the Grim Zap Lap stuff. Grimmsnarl, Lapras, and Zapdos, and all that fun stuff was one of my favorite, just like little archetypes to play with. You got to set up screens. You got to play bulky. You could Dynamax Zapdos instead and be offensive. Nibs Plays Games is a very big fan of that same archetype, and I would watch him shiny hunt for his Lapras. I got mine very early, and I was very lucky and very fortunate for that.
I also got mine extremely early. I was breeding for my 6IV Lapras, and it was egg number 5.
Yeah.
It is the earliest shiny I've ever gotten while, like, breeding.
My earliest was Impidimp in 3. You have that Impidimp still, I think.
I do. I do. It is the Grimmsnarl I play.
That was one of my that was like the quickest shiny I've ever seen. I ever got. I still remember my first shiny from this game. My
I do
shiny
too.
Dusclops. I got it the morning of. I believe it was the morning the game came out, or
Yep.
something similar to that. I had just played it nonstop. Was just grinding it and laying on the couch and playing, and lo and behold, there's a shiny Dusclops on my screen. I flipped out. I was the only one in the house besides Kayla who was asleep, but I flipped out. And I think this I'm excited to shiny hunt in Scarlet and Violet too. I think that might be what I do a majority of like my free time of, is just like shiny hunt in the wild. It's a lot of fun. Shiny hunting for me is fun. It's why I'm
agree.
playing PLA all the time right now. Is like I can go and just like do the massively massive raid outbreaks and just do as many as I can before the rainstorm lets up, and we'll see how many we get. If we get enough, cool. If we don't get any, cool. My shiny Togekiss I just brought over from PLA into home is from a massive outbreak, and I'm excited.
Sweet.
Yeah, I hope. It's just like we don't know 100% what the dex is. I don't think Togekiss was anywhere in any like mentioned anywhere.
I haven't seen it.
But if I don't get to play a Togekiss, it'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have a shiny Overquill to play with. I do have that. I'm excited for that.
So I'm looking at the Galar decks.
Uh-huh.
There are 3 fire type lines that were added.
Yep.
Does that seem absurdly low to you or just me?
For Galar in particular, that seems normal. It seems kind of fine.
Like, I know, obviously, now that, like, there are more than just 3 fire type lines in the game, but man, I'm just like, man, there's not a lot. Where are they all? But so I think the last thing I'm gonna ask before we call it a day, what is your favorite new Pokemon from Gen 8?
My favorite new Pokemon from Gen 8. Goodness, just all the hard questions.
I'm asking a lot of really difficult questions tonight.
This is excluding the forms, right?
Yes, this is
And
specifically
not the like PLA stuff.
yeah, correct. Specifically Galar decks. New Pokemon to the Galar decks.
Oh goodness. Going through trying to double check, make sure I'm not forgetting anything while I'm thinking about it.
Let's say I have that list as well if you want it.
I was about to say Galvantula, but I'm like, nope, that's Gen 5.
It's cool. I like it. I think I'm gonna have to go with Dracozolt. It is just I love all 4 of the fossils.
Yeah,
in this
like
game.
the fossils make my list regardless because they are such a cool design.
And just like the concept behind them is just like absurdly cool. Like Dracovish obviously is very, very popular thanks to the anime and everything, but like Dracozolt is fantastic. I absolutely love it. Him and his little derpy body. Everything about it I love.
Yeah.
He has like 3 relevant abilities. Just it's fantastic. The shinies of all of them are insane. Yeah, it's one of my favorite Pokemon, and like it's by far my favorite one that was added to Gen 8.
Going through it all, like there's a couple that stand out. Like I thought about like picking like one of the fossils, but we were just talking about them. Grimmsnarl and Hatterene were both technically on my list because they're both special like plays on old English, like old folklore tales and things like that, which are both really cool. But I think if I had to pick one of them, I think Duraludon just takes the cake for me.
Duraludon's really cool too.
It is such a unique design. Like, you don't know, like the Gigantamax is like based off a skyscraper. That's cool, whatever. Duraludon, unfortunately, just never really got to play outside of like the very early like regional decks. Because, fun fact, when you don't have special defense and are weak to earth power and
yeah,
you kind of get blown up pretty quickly.
When Max Quakes are running around everywhere and you take super effective damage from them, and it's also going to reduce the amount of damage you deal back, it's a hard sell.
Yeah. And so unfortunately for Duraludon, it just didn't get to come up and do what it wanted to do, but it's probably one of my favorite like designs like of the new Pokemon.
Now, the really hard-hitting question: what's your least favorite Gen 8 Pokemon?
My least favorite Gen 8. So least favorite from the new stuff, right?
Correct. This one can also include like Galarian forms and stuff if that changes your mind.
Oh, that actually makes it kind of easy.
Okay.
Galarian Mr. Mime.
I was gonna say Mr. Rhyme.
Like, that whole line can just go away. I do not like Mr. Mime is cool and all. It didn't need this.
It's fine.
Why is this a thing? Where did this come from? Like, Mr.
So
Rhyme
terrible.
is even worse.
It's so terrible.
I would say that's probably my least favorite design. It doesn't make a lot of sense thematically. Like, you slapped the ice type onto Mr. Mime and took away the best part of it being fairy. You should have taken away the psychic type and just left it fairy and just make it ice fairy.
Yeah, fairy ice would have been really sick.
That should have been the design instead.
Agree.
They missed the ball entirely.
Well, you can't be 4 times weak to steel, Carl. That's just bad.
Oh, one of the best weather setters in the game with Aurora Veil is 4 times weak to steel. It's fine.
Yeah, but they get Aurora Veil.
I mean, this thing has Screen Cleaner,
which is really sick.
We also have Fake Out. Like, we could have been really good if we were like
it could have
Ice Fairy. If we were Ice Fairy, this thing could have been great. No, we're Ice Psychic, so we have a ton of weaknesses that none of them pan out together.
I hate this thing. I really do. I don't think there's anything like even close to how much I hate Mr. Rhyme.
Not in the new stuff, anyway.
It might be like my least favorite Pokemon of all time.
Really?
In all actuality.
Wow,
I really hate it. It's so dumb.
That's a line in the sand. Dang.
I hate it, man.
Come fight Carter. Come get him. He's drawn the line. Get him.
I'm gonna get all the Mr. Rhyme haters in my DMs later.
Go spam Mr. Rhyme wherever you find Carter. Go get him.
Yeah, I deserve that. It's so ugly. I just hate it. I just want to punch it in its stupid little face.
What face, Carter?
Just pick one. Both of them?
Did you see that Leon...
Why does it have 2 faces?
Yeah. No, here's what's great. Did you see that in the anime that Leon has a Mr. Rhyme?
Does its stomach blink?
It does.
Oh my...
When it faints, it gets the swirly eyes in both on its head and on its stomach. Easy way to break Carter, everyone. Easiest way to ever just bring up Mr. Rhyme.
I hate it so much.
Get him. Go get him in the comments.
I hate it so much.
Okay, with that, this is a wrap on the Sword and Shield era.
Yep, never gonna talk about anything related to Galar ever again.
I wouldn't say that. More relevant to the games themselves. We'll talk about...
Nope, never, ever.
I'm sure there's some Galarian forms in the new games.
Oh, I'm sure there are, but we're not going to talk about it.
Okay, let's get out of here.
Alright, man. As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you're listening over here on YouTube. If you're listening on any of the audio-only platforms, make sure you go ahead and drop that subscription down there as well. Leave us a review if you can. It really does help us push our stuff towards the algorithm and help us stand out, all that good stuff. Past that, you can always follow us on Twitter at Mr. Missouri 25. Carl is at musical VGC, and of course you can follow the podcast and all of our news and everything there at LR Lessons. You can always come and follow Carl and myself on Twitch at Mr. Missouri 25 and at musical.
We'll be racing.
And then past that,
we'll actually both be live this week, won't we?
I'm gonna, yeah.
We're gonna be
I might just record mine. I don't know yet.
Oh, you don't want to stream it? That's no fun.
I don't know. Maybe I haven't decided yet.
We can race. We're gonna race anyway, but we can race.
Yeah,
on
for
stream.
sure.
Plus, we'll be playing with Bauer Dad.
Yeah, for those who aren't aware, Bauer Dad and I have done 2 Crystal Key Item Rando races in the past, and with Scarlet and Violet being right around the corner, neither of us are really making content for Sword and Shield anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, hey, I need something to stream. Do you want to race again? I'm like, yeah, duh.
Deal.
And
Snap
then,
it off. Let's go.
You're conveniently off, and you're just like, yeah, sure, why not?
I wouldn't say off. I'll just be available.
You're not working at the time, so yeah. It'll be a good time. That's also going to be up on YouTube on Friday.
Yeah, either my run or his run will be up on Friday.
If you don't get to watch it live, you will be able to catch it later. They're a fun time. They are a very, very cool thing, and if you've never seen one before, I would recommend it. That's a big run. Please stop. Getting back to the outro before I get more distracted. You can always come and hang out with us on our Discord, where you can hang out with us, get updated with all our events and all that good stuff as they're coming on. Probably won't be having any more events fire until at least beginning of the year.
Yeah,
get us through the holiday season, get people to play through their games and enjoy it. But yeah, you can always come hang out with us there and talk to us and the rest of the community and everyone involved with it. It's a grand old time. It's easily like the thing I spend the most time on my phone.
Yeah, same. Honestly,
like, not particularly.
I don't get notifications on my phone through Discord anymore, so I don't know why.
I do because I'm a madman.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I still do.
But
let's see.
Website.
You can always go and check out the website. That is lrlessons.com. You can check out the merch page while you're there and pick something up through Teespring. We are still looking for artists and everything. I know we have.
We had someone reach out.
Yeah, we've talked to a couple different people, but nothing has been set in stone or anything. So if you are an artist and are looking for, if you're taking commissions right now, please reach out. That email is always down in the show notes, so you can find us there. And if you want to support us but don't want to buy merch, because I get it, it's expensive, but still want to keep our lights on, you can go over to Anchor and support us on there for as little as 20 or 25 cents an episode. So I think that's going to be a wrap on 140.
That's a wrap on 140. That's a wrap on Sword and Shield.
All right, man. Well, until next week, have a wonderful day, everyone.